Good evening. Greetings from Reverend Dr. Weldon G. Thomas and myself, Marilyn Thomas, from the New Bethel Christian Methodist Episcopal Church in Rochester, New York, and formerly from St. John on this very special occasion.
We are so happy to share in this celebration. We're sorry that we cannot be with you, but we're glad to be able to share just a few thoughts since we were there at the beginning of this particular campaign. When I arrived at St. John in 1986, the church was just still celebrating expansion work that had been done under the leadership of the Reverend Dr. William Alston. It had been a long-standing tradition at St. John that you all paid as you went and you always handled your debt. However, there was still a $150,000 indebtedness on the construction work that had been done. There had also been talk about wanting to go to the next phase, and you all had a vision of creating a two-story education building. In order to do that, it would have required us to have liquidated the debt of the $150,000 and begin to raise funds as a good faith deposit on the potential loan that we would take in order to continue in further expansion. Upon doing that, we set out on a 3-year goal, a campaign to actually liquidate the debt, of which we were successful at doing, and then we went full-fledged in looking at the prospects of an education building. Upon commissioning that work by an architect, we decided to, in addition to the two-story education building, we wanted to expand the sanctuary and develop it, as well as renovate the fellowship hall. Upon receiving the plans from the architect, we decided to go with a 3-story building, of which one of the levels would be dedicated to a child development center. In needing the funds, it was incumbent upon us to come up with a business plan. And I'm proud to say that the First Lady, Marilyn Thomas, spearheaded an effort to come up with a plan that will help us to develop a revenue stream that would not only bring on a certified child development center, but it would also help us to service the debt over the 20-year period. As we went forward, we also started not only the renovations, but toward the very end, the Lyons family dedicated funds for us to do the windows. We compounded a construction committee made up of trustees, stewards, members who had expertise at construction work. Brother Anthony Smith served as the chairperson of the construction committee, and Brother Julius Washington played a very prominent role and served as our construction manager. As we went forward, we did receive funds. It wasn't without much sweat and tears. Many years, we were rejected by 6 banks before we finally found funding by the 7th bank. They were very excited about the business plan, and we went forward with the construction and development. As we got to the dedication, Bishop Ori Broomfield was our bishop at that time, and we also not only had him serving as our general worship leader, but also Bishop Charles L. Helton served as our dedication preacher. As we installed the windows, we were very intentional about wanting to have history of the local church as well as our denomination included. And so each window has a portrait of key figures in the life of our church. The first one was done for Reverend William Young, the first pastor of St. John, Bishop Joseph Coles, who was a son of St. John, Bishop Ori Broomfield, who served as a pastor of St. John, and Dr. Mattie E. Coleman, the first missionary president of the Women's Missionary Council. On the great dedication, we had many people in our community share with us. We had all generations. It was a great day and a great celebration, and we were better than blessed to share during that time. As we now have come 20 years later, full cycle, and you're here to dedicate the mortgage burning, to God be the glory for not only all of you and your dedication, your prayers, your financial support, but to the pastors who served in these intervening 20 years, to the sons and daughters in ministry of St. John, and to all in any way who have given support to make this day possible. May God bless you, and we wish nothing but the best. And may God continue to just bestow his blessings upon you as you continue to do rich work there in the southeast community of Washington, D.C. To God be the glory, the great things he has done.
Blessings.